What's up? How goes? Oh, sorry. Gotta move me around here for a moment. Yeet. Forgot to pull up my notes. How are y'all doing? Hey, Kaiwan. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I know it's the long weekend here in Canada. Is it the long weekend for you guys as well? Let me know. Okay. I think this should be okay. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys can hear me. Hey, Sandy. All right. It was your birthday week, so you have 3 weeks off? Man, I need a long vacation myself. I could take one. I got like over 200 hours for vacation time right now. Just piling them all up. But yeah. How are y'all doing, everybody? Okay, you can hear. That's good. That's good. Because Wednesday, I was talking like for a good 5 minutes before anyone actually told me they couldn't hear me. And there were people in the chat too. I was like, really, guys? Oh man. Alright. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to General Hospital Envy, my GH after show. We got a lot to talk about, I feel. Although it'll be kind of like a shorter one because it's like one topic for the most part. That's kind of what happens when you got like most of the week dedicated to what do you call it? To a wedding. That's a weird question, Kevin. Did you get to perform this weekend? No, it's okay. So it was supposed to be this upcoming Friday, and I was just going to rehearse over the weekend. But the show's been postponed, which I'm okay with because honestly, I haven't been able to practice a lot. And the day we were supposed to practice, I had allergies, so it was like, well, this sucks. But I would rather have like more time to not only rehearse, sorry, but also just to promote it more because I hadn't had the poster out yet, so I was like, well, I'd rather prepare it more because it's a pretty special venue to perform at. But yeah, a couple of the bands had to back out last second, so it is what it is, but I'm not too upset about it. It just gives me more time. That's still a weird question to ask. It's more like a dumb question to ask. I'm pretty sure he got fired because all the characters were written really out of character and quite shit, to be honest, but do you? But yeah, I mean, so for the most part, General Hospital this week centered around Brook-Lynn and Chase's wedding, which we'll obviously get into, the good, the bad, the heartfelt moments, and the drama, of course. But yeah, we got to talk about the drama in the writer's room because after like 2 months of material, Patrick Mulcahy, whatever his name is, he's been let go as co-head writer. And when I mentioned it in the community tab the other day, The rumor was that Chris Van Etten was also reinstated as co-head writer, but I think that's just a rumor. Elizabeth Corte is still the head writer and the sole head writer for now. And it looks like Chris is still only a breakdown writer at this time. Although it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up being co-head writer, because it's weird that they brought him back in the first place. But yeah, I mean, we can only speculate as to why Patrick was let go, but if we were to base it on the things that we can physically see for ourselves right now, the ratings are at an all-time low. They've been there pretty much since they started, the new writers, and the viewership as well. And one of the thing that I think all of us, whether it's us YouTubers online, the chat, the message boards, it feels like universally all of us are just frustrated right now because so many characters are acting really out of character. Some people have been dumbed down, some have reverted to their original forms without all like the emotional growth and experience that they've faced over the last few years. And some have switched their opinions of Sunny as well on the flimsiest of excuses why they did it. And some are just being written quite poorly. So, like, I don't know. I just feel like these two situations probably factored in. And, I mean, let's be real here too. We don't really know who truly had a hand in those character changes. A lot of people praise Patrick for his success, like in other soap operas that he's done in the past, like Santa Barbara, of course. And people are saying it must be Elizabeth Corte, but I'm like, or Cordy, however you pronounce her name, but I'm like, listen, like this, Elizabeth Cordy has been with GH this whole time for like 30 years. Out of the two writers, Patrick having written for like a year in the 80s, and Elizabeth, who's been there since the 90s, like I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure I know who was writing them out of character. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can guess correctly on that. I mean, the only other thing I'll really say about this as well is that I am honestly genuinely worried for the show. It's already been pretty jarring to watch ever since the new writers came in, Patrick and Elizabeth. So it's like we're now having to do it again, essentially. Now we're gonna have just Elizabeth. It's been, 2 months since we've seen their writing, and like they're still finding their footing, and now they'll have to find it again, and then they'll have to find it another time when they hire someone to co-write with Elizabeth, if they decide to at all, which I feel like they would, because, you know, it is a lot to write for a show, even though there have been, personality changes too. I don't know, I want the show to succeed ultimately, right? I think we all do. We want the show to be good to watch and fun, and we want new viewers to come in, and we want old viewers to come back. But the way that they were going about it with Patrick and Elizabeth was not the way. Like, to flip things on a dime and not tell us how they got there. I think just listening to the audience goes a long way. Obviously, we all want different things. We all want to see certain characters more. I'm talking more about like the general thing, like getting the history right and like guiding us through the story and like telling it properly so that we know how we got to where these characters are mentally. So like things like that, like I think for a soap opera genre, detail is super important. And so when we're seeing things happen that don't make sense, I mean, there's a lot of us that have been here for a long ass time, and we can tell you, what Laura said in that one episode in 1981. So, like, it's so bizarre. Sorry, I've missed what you guys have been saying in the chat, because I've been going on a tangent. Basically, Paul was responsible for the Whiplash character personalities with stupid reasoning. That's what I'm thinking. Like, it makes the most sense to me. Plus, the ratings have dropped and the viewership is down. So, I think all of that, they were like, oh, yikes. Don't know if he wrote for Santa Barbara. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing as well. There could be... okay, there could be writers that were amazing in their tenor from the 90s, right? But that doesn't mean it'll necessarily translate to a soap opera today, especially with the shoestrings budgets that there are. There's a lot of logistics that we don't know ourselves unless you're in the profession. But like, I don't certainly know what other things they had to factor in besides just story and characters. Obviously, they have to remember certain characters' contracts. Some people get more screen time, some get less. Different things that we can't really control if we were the writers ourselves. We have to factor all of that into our stories. But yeah, it's the most frustrating thing is when they get like the basic history wrong, or when they decide to turn characters into a different, or take them in a different direction. I think it's fine to take characters into a different direction, but they can't do it like that without showing us how they got there. And that's what they did for pretty much half the characters on the show. And that was frustrating in itself. Yeah, people have changed personalities, changed jobs, everything is upside down. Yeah, it's just so bizarre. I do appreciate the pickup of telling stories, though. I mean, I do too, and I hope that whatever happens next, I hope that they decide to do it more. And I think the reality is, like, in this day of age, like, people want to get to the point faster. And I don't mind if they tell, like, a bunch of stories faster, as long as they make them good. But they also have to take care of certain details. Like, you know, the thing about the wedding, we'll get into this in a second here, is, like, we have, you know, details are important. And they can make or break rooting for certain couples, or, you know, just being invested in certain characters. A lot of characters and couples I've found over the last like 10 years or so, it just feels like we don't see them slowly falling in love. There have been a couple that you do see the slow burn, but there's a lot of things where you're like, that this stuff should have happened on screen, and a lot of it doesn't. The Gates will be here in January. I've been watching the show most of my life. I'm going to ride with it until the brakes fall off. But insulting my memory of things that has happened in the past decade, yeesh. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Angel. Like, it takes a lot for me to stop watching, and probably you as well, I would imagine. But there are viewers that are far less patient than us, probably. You know, like, obviously, otherwise the viewership wouldn't be as down as it is. Angel, you said, I fear the people are gonna hate the Gates because y'all are putting too much pressure on the show. Yeah, it's not easy to start a new soap, especially now, you know? I'm intrigued. I don't know. I'll try to watch it probably if I can, but you know, there is a lot of pressure for it because it is a new soap. So we'll see. Trying to make it more like Young and the Restless, and they fired them. More business, less crime. Listen, I think that it's okay to have different aspects of the show. They can add the business and add, you know, the crime aspect of it, because the crime aspect was something that made GH unique, but they gotta figure it out in a different way that isn't repetitive, because it did get old. It really did get old. You've been watching GH since 1981. See? So you were there for, like, the good days, right? Like, the Luke and Laura era, like, the Gloria Monty days where she turned GH into something it obviously wasn't, but it worked. And it reeled people in, and there was good storytelling, and there was great acting, and there still is great actors on the show. But it was the storytelling, and honestly the larger-than-life stories that they told that really made the show back then. So, like, and again, it is hard to compete with what GH once was in the 80s, when there's next to no budget for the show. But there are ways to make certain things work. You can make things larger than life on a shoestring budget. Movies do it all the time. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm actually curious what network it was supposed to be on too, Angel, if you know. Teresa, you've been watching since 1978, so again, just as GH was starting to pick up, just slowly before they were getting canceled, and Gloria Monty and the writers from back then, they saved the show. I wish I paid more attention to who the writers were, because everyone gives Gloria Monty the praise, but I'm like, she didn't write though. She just changed the direction and told the writers to do their best with it. They took forever with Spencer and Trina and wasted Nicholas Chavez, yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, I feel like to get them into being a couple was fine, but to constantly give them these obstacles, like with Esme and then Ace, like, that's what kind of ruined them. And I think writers, whether it's ours or soaps in general these days, they seem to have a hard time giving couples obstacles to face together, instead of just like, I don't know, there's just certain ways that you can make a couple interesting without giving them these kind of obstacles. CBS? They'll probably put Gio with, do you mean Trina? I kind of hope they do, and we'll get into Gio and stuff. Well, we might as well get into the wedding right away here. I remember the Luke and Laura wedding. Trina and then Spencer will come back. Well, they'll have to recast him, though, because I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. Now that he's getting famous. Alright, but yeah. Now that we've kind of gotten all the writer stuff out of the way, let's get into the show. We'll talk about the wedding. I do want to give the writing team props for the episodes this week, surrounding Brook-Lynn and Chase's wedding specifically, especially, because you can tell they really put the effort in on trying to make this wedding feel like a classic soap wedding. They dedicated 2.5 episodes for it, and I don't know, I feel like we got to see details that I feel have been skipped over for wedding events on here in the last 15 years or so. What are y'all saying? They had Nicholas Chavez being daddy brother for no reason. Yeah, it's true. Come on, I don't think Gio could have been around because he's only 18. So he's a 2000s baby. Yeah, he's only 18 in real life, so maybe he might be Trina and Jocelyn's age, 20, 21, 22 on the show, but we don't know. We just don't know. Probably 21, because I think he was drinking at the wedding too. But yeah, going back on topic for a little bit, one thing I've always found annoying in a lot of the recent weddings over the years is that they tend to speed run through the wedding vows with horrible edits and transitions back and forth between the characters. This time they just let the characters say their vows, no cuts, no transitions, just letting it flow. I appreciated that, because whenever they do that, and they do it all the time, every wedding I can remember in the last 10 years, they've done the weird back and forth thing and just skipped through it. It felt really rushed. So I'm glad they took their time with this wedding. And we also got to see both Chase and Brook-Lynn have heartwarming moments with every single character that they were supposed to have those with. So Brook-Lynn had touching moments with Lois and Ned and Tracy, and Chase had touching moments with Gregory and Finn. And after the wedding, we got to see them have moments with each of their friends as well. So I really appreciated that we got to see all of it. They also did a really good job at filling the rooms. There were so many regular cast members at the wedding as well as extras on the canvas too. And it really put things in perspective of how noticeable it is when they don't. When they just keep a couple of handful or a few characters from the show and 2 or 3 extras in the background. But it really felt like a crowded affair this time around. And then even when we had characters interacting and talking about absolutely nothing, which honestly, in a wedding episode, I don't really care. I'm okay with that. I like that we had it. We had, like, some of the conversations were a little bit cringe, like Carmine, Lois's dad, asking Finn if he could take a look at a rash or whatever it was, I think, and then like Portia and Jordan trying to figure out who invited them to the wedding. And I had the same question, Portia and Jordan, because like Jordan I can get, that's Chase's ex-boss, like it makes sense. Portia and Curtis, I'm still scratching my head around it. Jocelyn too, for that matter. Why were y'all there? Y'all barely interact with any of them. But yeah, I also really liked seeing the Sorello shenanigans overall too. Like that one cousin that was always trying to dance with Michael or take people to the after party, and everyone was just trying to avoid her. And also Gloria recognizing Jason as Jason Quartermain instead of Jason Morgan. Now, obviously, I don't recall, because I wasn't really watching, and I haven't seen too many clips of Gloria in the 90s. I know that this is the same actress, and I know that she was around here and there kind of as a guest role. So it is plausible that she only knew Jason Quartermain, but given that she's really close to Sonny, I have a hard time buying that she didn't know who Jason Morgan was and what happened to him. She's just assuming that he's still Jason Quartermain and he became a doctor, and like it was funny, but I don't know, I appreciated that. But yeah, what are y'all saying? Read an article saying that he was on the show back in 1995. Maybe it was a different Geo, dude. I'm curious. Who are your crushed? Do you mean my crushes? I don't really have a crush on any of the characters, if that's what you mean. For real, like there's not a character that I'm like, ooh. I mean, there's obviously some attractive dudes on there for sure, but like, I don't know, none that I'm crazy for currently. I have a really specific type though, in all fairness. Cody was the closest I came to it. He's kind of lost that sort of scruffy vibe that I like, so I don't know. She would have known about that because, yeah, Jason Quartermain used to hang out with Lois sometimes in the house. Okay, yeah, but yes, so that's fair, but like, she's also supposedly been close to Sonny. And you're telling me that Sonny not once mentioned his best friend to any of them? Lois never brought up what happened to Jason? Like, that stuff was weird, but it is what it is, and I'll take it. I appreciated the effort. But yeah, oh, la la la, it's true love, I love Little Violet. But please no more singing for a while. Oh man. Probably forgot all those main points. Maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I just found it weird that Gloria didn't know Jason and Sonny were best friends. But yeah, anyway, that leads us to the drama. We all know that Sonny would be the ticking time bomb that was gonna go off at some point during the wedding. We all seen the build up of it. Sonny being awkward with Michael and being annoyed that Jason was there. And then furious seeing Dex was there, to the point where when Dex was interacting with the Sorellos, he like pulls Lois aside and he's like, "Don't trust him, he's a traitor." And Lois just kind of blew it off like, "Oh, no, just like deal with it. There's so many people here, ignore it, Sonny. He's just mingling, whatever." And eventually, he corners Dex in the hallway after the reception was over. Thankfully, I'm glad that it happened after everything was done. And he just beats Dex to a pulp. I actually thought he took an eye out because like the makeup that they had for the eye injury, it looked like he just tore an eyeball out, which was crazy. And then Jason comes in to try and stop him, and Sonny says something to the effect of like, I don't know, what did he say? He just basically shouted that he was gonna like shoot both of them in the head, and Christina walked in on that and was shocked. So, you know, her whole world's been shattered, I guess, as if she's never seen Sunny say just as vile things in the past. The thing that comes to my mind that she was there for 100% was Claudia's birthday bash, y'all. When Sunny read Claudia for filth and the vile things he was saying with her, or to her, and saying, you know, shut up, you lying whore, and like, take her, like, all that. Christina was there for that. She knows what this man is capable of. Like, it is insane. They aren't going to let Sunny take Dex's eye out. This isn't HBO. I know. I'm just saying it looked like it was gone because there was so much heavy, like, red blood on the eye. I mean, you know. Oh, man. And by the way, if y'all haven't seen Sunny versus Claudia at that birthday bash in the Metro Court, you should watch it. Oh, man. You say that to your mother, and you knew that one of your relatives was connected to the mafia? I mean, wasn't he kind of back then too? Like, wasn't he working for Frank? What's his name? DG said it was fun watching Sunny give Dex the beat down, but I think Evan Hoffer could take Maurice Bernard in a real fight. The makeup was very good. I don't know. I know that Dex has got, like, abs and, like, nice arms, but I don't know, he doesn't strike me as super athletic. Like, you can have all that and not be athletic. I'm basing this on, like, the montage scenes and whenever we're seeing him run. Like, oh no. They have him doing things that don't make him look super athletic when he's supposed to be looking super athletic. Now, obviously, there were also milder dramatic moments as well. In the first wedding episode, just as the ceremony begins, Gregory's ALS flares up, and he struggles to talk, and it's this whole dramatic moment at the end of that episode. And then at the start of the next one, we got some really nice scenes of Tracy just kind of like calming him down, saying, it's okay, no one's mad at you. You can take as much time as you need, or if you can't, I will help you. I promised you that, remember? And then Violet's there picking up the letters or the notes off the floor and giving it to him. And I was just like, oh, it's like sad, but it's so nice that everyone was so patient, because I think that probably in Gregory's mind, he's acting like he's ruining the wedding, and everyone knows what he's going through. Everyone knows that he's got ALS and that Chase wanted this for him and that this was a possibility that this would happen. So, I don't know. I liked the moment, and then the wedding ceremony continued on, of course. What else happened? Oh yeah, so also, during the reception, Finn accidentally took a drink. I think he was just caught up in the moment, and he accidentally did it, and he shook himself to the core, and he hid it from everyone, which I'm nervous about. I think it's a sign for things to come once Gregory does pass away. And I appreciate that Chase gave Gregory something to live a little longer for. He mentions that he wants... Well, okay, so Gregory mentions that he has now finished his bucket list, and Chase is like, no, I'm adding one more thing to your bucket list, holding your baby grandchild. And I don't... Okay, for the record, Brook-Lynn is not pregnant. I think that Chase's idea, and I think that Chase even probably knows in the back of his mind it's not going to happen, but I think he feels like it will give Gregory some motivation to try and hang on longer. Because I feel like once, and this could be true or not, I feel like once you're at peace with like doing everything you feel like you need to do before you're at death's door, that's when you kind of, take a nosedive and then die, They need to let that man meet God. Oh, man. We honestly had a good fight. We honestly haven't had a good fight between characters in a minute. No cat fighting, no nothing. I wonder if it costs money to have fights. Well, it involves choreography, right? So it's hard. But yeah, maybe this is the next storyline for Brook-Lynn and Chase. Chase wants to have a baby, but Brook-Lynn don't. Maybe. That wouldn't surprise me, actually. But yeah. We also have a young new man on the canvas. His name is Gio. And he was the guy playing the violin at the wedding. He's around Jocelyn and Trina's age group. Of course, the first scenes he gets are with Jocelyn. Figures. I hope they don't make a love triangle out of her, Dex, and Gio, because I don't know about y'all, but the actor, whose name is also Gio, who also plays violin in real life, kind of reminds me of Cameron a little bit. He's got like that same sort of baby face quality, and I just want, I looked at my TV and I said, yo, be careful, boy. That girl likes them bad boys. She's gonna break your heart, like. I'm already protective of this little man. Don't ruin him, Joss. She loves them bad boys. Wonder who he's related to. Like, we know he's Brook-Lynn's cousin. Twice removed or once removed is what she said. But it could be just any Cirillo that we've not heard about. Just like the lady that was obsessed with dancing with Michael is someone that we just didn't know about. Really, the only ones that we do know that were there were Gloria and Carmine. Carmine was a recast. Gloria was the OG. He's like a replacement for Sunny's son character. Adam, he's like a mixture of Adam and Cam. Oh, that's true. I mean, I wouldn't mind them bringing Joshua Bernard back. They always give Joss a new young guy to interact with first. Well, they need to change that habit. Like, y'all are just slowly putting her back with Dex, and now this. Like, she doesn't need two guys. She don't need two guys. Let her pawn over the one. But yeah, anyway, overall, I really enjoyed the wedding, which is saying something as someone who's kind of neither here nor there with Brook-Lynn and Chase. You guys know this for me. They don't do much for me emotionally on their own. But when you have characters in each of their families played by seasoned actors like Jane Elliott, Rena Sofer, Wally Kurth, Gregory Harrison, that in itself can really sell an event like this no matter who the couple is. And I just really appreciated that GH tried to give us a soap wedding that felt reminiscent of the classic soap weddings and did a pretty decent job following through, all things considered. We always talk about things that happen on GH off screen and how frustrating it is when we're just supposed to assume that these things took place. I'm glad that they showed us every little thing that they possibly could have. Y'all know Joss is going to be the new Carly when Carly gets up there in age. I skipped the wedding. It was boring. Well, how do you know if it was boring if you didn't watch? Liar. Anyway. But yeah, I also liked the other little moments, like even outside the wedding characters, as in like Brook-Lynn and Chase and the family. We had Jason and Spinelli reunite at the wedding, and they established that this was their first time seeing each other since he's been back in town. So again, it's one of those things, like, I was assuming that the first time that we'll see Jason and Spinelli, they would have already reunited at that point. I'm glad that we got to see it play out this way, because I would have felt like we were robbed of that moment, and I would have complained about it, for sure. So, like, we always, I don't know, like, Jason and Spinelli, they obviously hang out in real life. They're podcasters. We see them on their show all the time. But it is a moment to have Jason and Spinelli like reunite because of like all their history together, and it was both emotional and hilarious. Just like Spinelli going in for the hug, he tries to go in for another, and Jason just pushes him back, and then he reaches for Jason's tie, and Jason just slaps it out, slaps his hand out of the way. I thought it was funny. And I don't know, I just really liked it. It was perfect. It felt like very much like a classic Stone Cold and his grasshopper moment. And I like that we've seen Jason Spinelli and Maxie all together again as well, because Steve, Bradford, and Kirsten have talked about scenes that are possibly coming up that they really enjoyed shooting together that felt like the old days. So yeah. Also, Sam wants to reunite with her former business partner to investigate the FBI and what they have on Jason that's causing him to be an informant. I know damn well this is going to end poorly. And also, they established that Sam still does PI work, and I swear, I thought she gave it up because of the potential danger for her kids. It seems like it would be a confirmed thing with how she's been on edge about Jason's dangerous work affecting Danny, but PI work involves a little bit of danger too, and now she's going after the FBI. Like, pick a lane, Sam. Pick a lane. Pick a better lane than the one that you're on, though. Like, in regards to all your fear against everything. Little brother, big brother type of hug. Yeah. I don't understand why Drew thought Jason would call him y'all not close. Yeah, that was a bit weird. Drew despises Jason. I wouldn't call Drew either. Drew probably fought Jason in the womb. Sam wanted to do dangerous stuff, but Jason is a bad guy. Exactly. Like, the writings for the characters have been wishy-washy. Although, like, I would love Danger Junkie Sam back rather than the version that she is today. Sam can still be a danger junkie and still be a good parent, Oh, you're saying that that Jason thought, or Drew thought, that they'd be close because of what happened on Castodon Island? Maybe. Oh, Sam is still a PI. I remember those great Sam and Dante adventures as PI back then a couple years ago. Oh wait, they never did. They had only one investigating Esme's nanny. Yeah, and most of that happened off screen. Oh lordy. But yeah, how do y'all think Sam is gonna react when she finds out that Jason is doing all this to protect Carly? Because I think she'll just she'll regret it and hate it and probably rip him a new one even more. Anyway, beyond that, just to mention some other things that happened during the wedding. We got Violet singing a little sing-song for the bride and groom, and I'm pretty sure she sang it live. Usually when they have actors lip sync, I can cop that instantly. So like when Spinelli, Maxie, Sasha and Cody went out for karaoke, I could tell that Sasha and Cody were lip syncing to like auto-tuned voices, whereas Spinelli was definitely singing live, even though it might have been pitch corrected here and there. And same with Violet, I'm pretty sure. Another thing that I liked, we didn't have to endure Blaze's mom being awful to Blaze or Christina. I thought we were going to see her try to stop them from being too handsy with each other. So I'm glad it didn't play out that way. She even helped Blaze at one point when the Sorellos were trying to encourage her to sing at the wedding, just by saying, well, we don't want to outshine the bride. She's the bride's number one client, etc., etc. So I was like, thank God they didn't go there. My only real complaint about the wedding episodes is that the music at the reception was, again, really quiet, just like it was during the bachelorette party. And they kept on talking about the reception music as if it was like bopping the whole night. There was like one speedy sort of dancey song for the entire thing, and the rest of it was like classical music. I'm like, when did y'all dance? And what did you dance to? Like, that frustrates me. And again, it was just so quiet that I swear you could hear these people breathing over the loud music that they were dancing to. It was I don't know. It's so cringe. Y'all can turn it up or make it sound echoey or something to make it sound like it's actually being played. But yeah. Also, that one bad cut I think I mentioned on Wednesday, when we seen Sam inside the church, and then she was suddenly outside the church with Michael greeting people at the same time. So, that was the other thing. Sam will probably be furious and then calm down like she did with Drew taking the fall for Carly. That's true. I get Jason trying to protect Carly. She wouldn't have been at the meeting with the 5 families if he didn't get shot and was able to go to the meeting. Yeah, I get it too. I'm just saying that Sam will not be happy about that. Because Sam doesn't know why Jason's covering for Carly. She'll probably just find out that he is. And like Carly's RICO charges, but she's not going to know why she has them, right? You think you'll think she'll understand too, Nathan? Sorry guys, I'm thirsty as hell. Alright, now, as you guys recall, I said that GH spent 2.5 episodes on the wedding itself. The other half of the second episode had 2 other things happening. Sasha and Cody, they were hanging out waiting for the after party guests to arrive. Sasha made everyone dinner apparently, and while they were waiting, they had like a little picnic in the barn with like some really old wine. They kind of flirted and danced with each other. It was cute, I guess. But then, something completely unrelated to the wedding itself. Jack Brennan, formerly John Brennan, changed his name, made a shiv. And then he stabbed himself with it while making another inmate looking like the one who did it. And got himself sent to GH. Honestly, short as it was, kind of a cool action moment. I thought it was shot really well, both like when he did the stabbing and then like the camera panning like kind of upwards above them. Like that was a really cool shot. And then when they took him into the hospital, they had the camera like on the gurney as he was being like wheeled through the hospital. See, GH knows how to do things when they get a little bit more money for it. And I think some people are stating, and I don't know if this is true or not, that they started to opt out of the nurses' ball to have money for this wedding. I'm actually okay with that. Because I feel like it would require less money than the nurses' ball anyway, between like the dancers and choreographers and all this other stuff. But yeah, when they have the money for certain things, they can create some cool stuff. Again, I like the wedding, and I totally get why some people found the wedding boring. I get it. I too am not a Brook-Lynn and Chase fan. I was kind of, I think I was just mostly stoked that they really took the time and effort to make the wedding feel like an authentic classic soap wedding. I think that they did a really good job with that. So I appreciated the effort that they put into that. And the budget, like they made the church look better than it usually does. They had the whole outside of the church that I don't think we've seen that much of it before. And plus that, I forget what they call that MetroCourt set that's like sort of outside and inside, where they had the reception. I really enjoyed all of that. So, and of course, the bit of action scenes that we do get. The only thing I'm kind of bummed about. I thought for sure Sunny was gonna shoot someone, because the promo made it look that way. But I think they were just kind of meshing together the fact that Sunny was gonna punch out Dex, and that the blood being lost was just gonna be Brennan's from a different situation altogether. We don't need the nurse's ball every year. I mean, I love the tradition of the nurse's ball. I just feel like, and they, you know, to be fair, they did do it for like a solid 10, well, okay, so like 8 years in a row, I think. 2013 it came back, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 8 years of it, yeah, and then they brought it back in 2023. Brook-Lynn and Chase after the breakup, please, you're killing each other. You have to say kind of interest or anything like that, each other for the hot bodies. I mean, it's not really the hot bodies. Like some people do like couples for that reason, but like for me, I really miss being invested in couples. There's not been okay, so other than Safrina, for me personally, and I know that's not for everyone, there has really not been like really rootable characters that come close to like the characters from like the early 2000s, the characters from like the 90s and the 80s. Like I'm thinking like Jason and Sam, and Sunny and Brenda, and Robert and Anna, and Robert and Holly, and Anna and Duke, and Luke and Laura, and Felicia and Frisco. Like we don't have those anymore. No one comes close, and it's so frustrating. And it's possible. They just really need to make an effort to really invest in the couple in a way that will hold the audience's attention. Sorry, Angel, you said, side note, does anybody think Kelly Monaco mumbles? I can hear every word she says, even though I'm deaf in my right ear. Somehow normal hearing people cannot. I don't have, SLJ said, I don't have a problem hearing her. Some people have said that she has an issue with her hearing, and that's why she sounds the way she does. Yeah, like, Sam has always kind of talked similar to this. This might be a little bit, like, rude to say, but I feel like, more so these days, her bigger lips that she now has kind of close more often, and I think that makes her sound a little, not that she's mumbling, but just like not speaking properly, which is like kind of the same thing arguably, but I mean, like, I don't know, I think that's a factor. But Sam has been pretty soft spoken since the beginning, and I don't think your mind is filling the blanks, Angel. I think that's what it comes down to. I do miss Sam, like, being feisty enough to shout at people. Like, it happens every now and then, but just not often. And I feel like she struggles through it now more than she used to. Nathan, you said, I truly believe the couple shakeup we had after 2020 was more of a curse than a blessing. Most of the pairings, besides a few had bad writing and not enough story, unfortunately. Yeah, it's one thing to want to change directions for the show, because I think, did Chris and Dan come in like 2019 or 2018 or something like that? Yeah. I don't know. I just miss when it felt like GH was really investing in their couples. It felt like that with Trina and Spencer. It felt like they were really invested in making them work. And then, unfortunately, Nicolas Chavez got an acting job. And also, like, what really affected Spencer and Trina ultimately, too, you have to remember that before the writer's strike, like Spencer and Trina, Spencer was supposed to be gone off the canvas, so there was a time where they were just kind of floating through the show with not much story, because they planned him on being there. So like, then they had to quickly come up with something to like keep him on the canvas and keep him working. Yeah, I feel like Kaiwan, I think you're right to a point. Like they have a hard time, like going all in on their characters, whether it's a couple or like it's like they're afraid to make someone all bad, or someone like, or a couple like all solid, because you can have a solid couple and still have them not be boring. Like case in point, Luke and Laura for like the glory days. Like all of their problems that they faced together happened from like outside forces that had nothing to do with people trying to break up their relationships, unless you count Scott Baldwin. But like everything else was like they were solving mysteries and fighting crime, fighting bad guys, and different things like that. So like, I don't know, they should be doing that kind of things for couples. They don't need no like someone coming into their relationship to make it interesting. They just gotta be creative. Like that's all it takes. Spencer and Trina had no chemistry. Yes, they did. That's why they had the biggest fandom on GH for like a couple years. A lot of people disagreed with you, so much so that they put a freaking billboard up in New York. Name a single couple that anyone's done that for on GH ever. I think he meant Trina, Angel. Now that said, there can definitely be an argument for like people preferring Trina number 1 to Trina number 2. I get that. Recasts are hard, but I think they did a good job with the material they were given, and people really like they were diehards out there for Sabrina. So, and like they were like trending on Twitter. Like that doesn't happen anymore with like couples. So I don't know. It was cool to see, and I feel like for a while, GH kind of copped that and took advantage of that and gave them a big part in the 60th anniversary year story with the Ice Princess and the Greenland adventure. And they really tried. You know, they had to work with the budget that they have. God bless them. But I actually really enjoyed the Greenland stuff from that year. Now, other than that, there's not too much left to talk about for GH. The stuff that happened on Monday and Tuesday before the wedding, we kind of talked about on Wednesday in the first place, so not much to report there. But since we got a little bit of time left, let's try to figure out Wednesday. Okay? Let's try to figure out Wednesday. I think I'll just make it really easy. And let's make the theme classic GH weddings. Now, I want to point out to you guys, because I know most of y'all have been here for it, we have watched the Luke and Laura wedding twice now. We need to find a different wedding. Okay? Unless y'all really want to watch it a third time, but we've watched it twice. But yeah, let's discuss it since we're still streaming. What do you guys think you want to watch wedding-wise again? And again, it has to be classic soap wedding. And by classic, I just mean like before 2010. So that we can avoid like copyright stuff. Because they don't care about GH before that. The fact that Sabrina fans had money to put together for a billboard in New York City in this trash economy is wild in itself. For real, right? Liz and Lucky wedding. That might be nice. I haven't watched that one in a minute. Nicholas and Emily wedding. Yeah, that'd be cool too. Yeah, like you guys like in the chat right now, like put your suggestions for weddings that we can watch. And then probably tomorrow I'll put up a poll, and then we can kind of narrow it down to your favorite for Wednesday. But yeah, both great choices. I was watching GH during both of those times, so I do remember them, but I don't think I've rewatched Liz and Lucky's or Nicholas and Emily's wedding since then. I can remember that Liz and Lucky's wedding took place in Windermere in the ballroom. And that's another good suggestion, Angel, Sunny and Brenda, with Sunny leaving her at the altar. And I can remember Nicholas and Emily's was at a church, but there was a lot of like drama surrounding it because I think Nicholas gets arrested for something. Jason and Courtney's wedding. Well, Alan and Monica, do they have their wedding on YouTube? Maybe. If I can find it, I'll definitely add that as a suggestion in the poll when I make it. If I don't make it a suggestion, just assume that it's not on there. But if it is, I'd really like to see it, because I think that's a wedding I have not watched, to be honest. At least I don't remember watching it. So Liz and Lucky, Nicholas and Emily, Sunny and Brenda, Jason and Courtney, Alan and Monica. I feel like we watched Bobby and Tony's when we were doing Bobby's memorial / Jackie Zeman's memorial reaction. Jason and Sam's actual first wedding in 2004. Why don't I remember the 2004 one? I do remember the 2010 one. It's another good suggestion. I will put it in the suggestion, or in the poll tomorrow. All really good suggestions, y'all. But yeah, it's a good start. For those of you watching after the live stream's over, put down in the comments more suggestions. Great suggestion to Teresa. I actually really liked Robert and Anna's wedding. I'm thinking about the one that was, I think, in the Quarter main garden is the one that springs to mind for me. But also like their cute wedding that happened when they were undercover. Both of them were great. Do you have a specific one in mind out of those two? They didn't have one in 04. I thought I was going crazy. I was like, I don't remember a wedding in 2004. Was it that they were going to get married because she was pregnant or something like that? Was that the thing? But yeah, all great suggestions, guys, and lots to pick from, and hopefully people will answer in the polls what ones they want to see. Jason and Brenda, oh, that one's hilarious. Yeah, that one's a good one too. Oh man, but that one's really short. That one is short. That's the downside to like the almost weddings or like the weddings played for comedy, is that they're going to be short scenes. But hey, I don't mind a short live stream. Usually I'm like live streaming for an hour to an hour and a half, and if it can be shorter than that, I'm not going to complain. But yeah, I think we'll end it here, the live stream. Now we've been on for an hour. Robert and Holly, Holly and Luke. Noted. I'm gonna write. Actually, no. I'm just gonna type these all out now so I don't forget. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen Holly and Luke's, by the way, SLJ. Okay, I think I have them all written down. Sorry guys, my allergies are acting up again. The hell I go through every spring. There we go. All right. I've gotten written them down. Maybe I'll actually like put up the poll after I finish live streaming, just so I don't forget. And I'm gonna take an allergy pill before I go to sleep. All right, y'all. But thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you liked the live stream, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate it if you did. And I will catch you guys this wedding Wednesday. When we'll watch one of your suggestions. I'll make the poll tonight, vote on it the next few days, and whatever you decide by Wednesday morning is the one we're gonna go with. All right, but yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. I will catch you guys this Wednesday, and we'll talk about the week that was GH next Sunday after our reactions on Wednesday. Good night. Mwah.